Hello, my friends, and welcome to Metro TV. I'm your host, Andy Hoig, publisher and CEO of Metro Magazine and Midlands Business Journal. So, oh my gosh, we have got a great series of interviews coming up over the next month. I'm interviewing some amazing women that were featured in our Celebrating Women's issue that is now out on the streets. Today, I'll be interviewing Marianne O'Brien from OBI Creative and Mary Vandenack from Vandenack Weaver. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, I am here with Marianne O'Brien. Marianne O'Brien, she is founder and CEO of OBI Creative. Also just a real good friend. I've known Marianne for years. Marianne, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's awesome to be here.
Now, Marianne, one of our profiled inspiring women in our Celebrating Women issue that just is out now. Let's just talk a little bit about OBI Creative. Just tell us a little bit of the history and what is OBI Creative.
Sure. OBI Creative is a full service advertising agency and marketing strategy firm. And so we've been in business. This is our 20th year.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I cannot believe it, but yes, I'm very serious. 20 years we've been hard at it, and happy to say that, we're doing great. Our clients range from financial institutions, insurance companies, technology firms, small businesses, entrepreneurs, to very large global businesses. And we're usually brought in when there's an opportunity for growth, or there's a new product that somebody wants to launch, or there's just sometimes we're even brought in like during a change in management. Because we have a study called the O'Brien Voice of Customer, and that study has really been the catalyst for the business growth, and it's really taking a lot of the subjectivity out of where to place your marketing dollars and how to position yourself from a brand perspective, and then using kind of customer data really to inspire the creative. So that's what we're known for, and that's what we're good at, and we are here in Omaha. Our corporate headquarters is here. And we have office in Des Moines and San Diego.
Yeah. Well, let's just start, because I know your career, I'm going to let you tell the story, started with Gateway Computers. I mean, that's one of the things. So let's just start. Let's talk about your career choice. What inspired you to kind of start, way back when and walk up to now, to when you created OBI Creative?
Well, to take us back a few steps, I really started OBI Creative in my mind when in the third grade. I started signing my name, Marianne O'Brien, CEO, O'Brien Industries, New York, 10069. And I had no idea. I grew up in Spencer, Iowa. I had no idea what a CEO was really. All I knew was, that they ran a business and I wanted to run a business. And so I really was that kid. So I literally, if you look at my report cards, you look at any old documents, it was Marianne O'Brien, CEO, O'Brien Industries, Inc. And O'Brien Industries is the company name, and we do business as OBI Creative. So fast forward, when I started OBI, I was a consultant, and I really just wasn't even, I didn't set out to own an ad agency, didn't set out really to own this business. I just had an opportunity and there was some potential, and they said, okay, well, who do we write the check to? And I said, O'Brien Industries. I guess I'm the CEO. And then over the years we've grown. But I started my career after college. I started my career at Gateway Computers, and I was in business, I took business school at college, and I had a marketing background, but I didn't really even understand what marketing was until I started at Gateway. And that gave me a lot of context. And Gateway was really, really in high growth when I got there. So it was kind of this perfect storm of, an open mind, a fresh look, and high speed, high tech. And I just dove into, feet, two hands, one head, and really learned kind of learned from some of the best in the world how to build a brand, how to take care of customers, and how to align your brand to your experience. And that's really what OBI is about today. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to Gateway and all the things I learned there.
Yeah. Well, looking over your career, let's talk a little bit of some of the career highlights. What do you consider some of your career highlights and achievements? Have a lot.
One of the things that comes to my mind is in 2018, we won the Integrity Award from the Better Business Bureau. And that was, I mean, it's still like kind of almost chokes me up when I think about it, because I'm confident that we're good at the work we do. But integrity is, how you approach things. And so it's one thing to be good at your own, to be good at a skill set. It's another just to be a good human. And so that really makes me proud that people view us, in the way that I would want them to, and across my whole team. That's probably my most cherished award. We've won Best Ad Agency in the world, 3 Stevies over in 2016, 17, 18. I don't even know if we submitted in 19, but and that in our division, and that's a big deal in our industry. So that's huge. Proud of that, but again, probably more proud of the Integrity Award. And then just some, like, I have a client right now that was a intern. And like that made me so proud. Like, she has her own business, she's killing it. And she learned here what we did. And she's told me when she called, she said, I've always dreamed that I would get to hire you guys to do my advertising, and now it's happening. So like, that's a really cool thing to have. So I guess also when my employees, get to learn something new and I can see it in their eyes, when I think about what inspires me, that inspires me, because I've always loved potential, and it might be why I love OBI, because I get to look at the potential in people, the potential in business. And so when sometimes I feel like some people don't see the potential I even see in them or in their brand. So when they finally realize it, it's a really cool moment. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about you personally for a little bit. Where are you personally successful? What do you,
Oh, that's a tough question for me, because I feel confident that I'm pretty good at work.
Sure.
I hate to say that, but I am. I'm confident that I know what I'm doing at work.
Yeah.
But I'm a mom to a 15-year-old, and my gosh, she's my pride and joy, but I'm not as confident. I always will say to her, Cece, I don't know, this is my first time being a parent. I never had a 15-year-old, so I'm just figuring this out as we go. But she's a really good human and kind, and so I'm very proud of her, and I'm proud of her personally. I have an amazing fiance, and I am super proud of that relationship. And he renewed my hope in probably personal relationships, and he is just phenomenal. So I'm really proud of that. And then I still have friends from grade school, high school, college, my time in California, my time in New York. And so for me, staying in touch with people, that means a lot to me. Even if we don't get to talk, like even you and I, we don't get to talk every day, but we can pick right back up, and we just have a good connection. And I'm proud of those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a couple minutes left. I want to talk about the future, like your future aspirations. Let's just take a minute or minute and a half to talk about the future.
Well, I spend most of my life in the future. As you can tell, when I was in 3rd grade, signed my name that way. Yes. I've taken my strengths, and that is one of my top strengths. So I love the future. I think about it all the time. And, where I see myself, I would love at some point to do some sort of like community service, or like, I do have political aspirations. I haven't really ever said that publicly.
I've never heard you say that.
I do. I want to get involved and engaged. I want to be able to give it my all, though. So it's got to be at a time when, my business can handle some of that focus being taken away. But I would like to, help locally, nationally, regionally, statewide, whatever. So that's one aspiration. And then, I want to continue to just get better at OBI. I mean, to me, better has no finish line. And so we're
Yeah.
always evolving. I'm always pushing the envelope. I'm always asking, is there a better way, a new way? So I hope that never changes, because, communications are changing fast, and we have to stay ahead of the curve, and being a trusted guide to our clients is important to me. So I see us continuing to learn. And what I would love to do someday is like sit on a think tank and just get to ideate. That's one of my favorite places to be, ideate about the future.
Yeah. Well, Marianne, thank you for joining me today. And you are such an inspiration. I mean, again, we've known each other for years and years. And again, yeah, I always enjoy talking to you. Like you said, we just pick up. I mean, we could probably go a couple years without talking to each other, and then we see each other and just pick up again. But you're doing such great things, not just in this community, but around the world. So thank you for that. Thank you for being a woman that is changing the world. So we need more women. We need more women changing the world. So.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate being included in this. You are just an amazing woman yourself. So that means a lot to me, and really appreciate the opportunity to be on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. I am so happy to be here with a good friend of mine, and also an amazing woman, so inspiring, Mary Vandenack. Mary Vandenack is founder of Vandenack Weaver, also managing partner. Mary is a speaker. Mary is a writer. Mary is a teacher. She's a lover of yoga and wellness. So Mary, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Andy. I always appreciate the chance to chat with you.
Yeah. And so one of the reasons we're here, we, our latest issue, all about celebrating women, we profiled you in that issue. And I have to say, I learned some things about you. I learned some things. I've known you for so many years, and I just love when I learn new things about my friends. But you founded Vandenack Weaver, which was Vandenack Williams, but now Vandenack Weaver. Just talk about the company just in general, what you do.
So yeah, we're a boutique law firm. And what we did is, because I'd been at a couple of the bigger firms here in town, and Mark and I, so the Williams and the original one, really wanted to use technology and innovation and found a practice that was a boutique firm. So we serve primarily closely held business owners and their owners in their business issues and their related succession issues, exit planning issues, and their trust and estate issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of tax work. So we are all kind of tax heads, a lot of finance and accounting people in our office.
Yeah. So one of the things that I don't believe I knew about you, so prior to becoming a lawyer, what did you do?
I was a thoroughbred racehorse trainer. That was the new one for you. So I ran into somebody the other evening who recalled the days when Exarban Village was actually a thoroughbred racetrack.
Yep, it was Exarban here in Omaha, Nebraska, for anybody watching or listening that's not from Omaha. But yeah, I don't know if I knew that about you. So you did that, but your family, you kind of, in the article you go in that all your family members, or most of them, were lawyers.
And my father was an attorney. He passed away a little early, and I was blessed to have worked with him before he did. My brother Joe is a lawyer, and he now runs a family office for a client for whom we did an exit. And then my other brother, Matt, is also a lawyer. We were all at the family firm at one point when my dad was living. Joe's actually of counsel with us now, so he provides some consultations, particularly on the family office services. My brother Matt's a wealth strategist for Merrill Lynch. So the way what he says about that is he explains to people what I actually do.
Okay.
He's a great resource of information.
So the question, what inspired your career choice? What did inspire? I mean, besides being in the family business, what inspired the career choice?
Well, I was actually absolutely not going to be a lawyer because everybody else was. So even Matt, who's my younger brother, was a lawyer before I was. So I tried the horse racing thing, and actually I was into a couple other careers before I did this. And I thought, well, I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. So I hired a career counselor. I was at College of St. Mary at the time, and they did this inventory. And when I met with her, I said, well, when I come back, the one thing I'm not ever going to do is be a lawyer because my whole family's lawyer and I need to do something else. And so when I came back, she looked at me with this kind of funny look and she goes, well, I hate to tell you, but you have all of the skills and personality to be a lawyer by so much more than any other career choice. And so she goes, so I know you don't want to do that. So let's talk about what comes in second and third, which was writer and teacher. So I decided, well, okay, I'll just go ahead and go to law school after all. And the great thing is that in my career, I've not only practiced law in a way that I love doing it, but I also teach, write, and by presenting, I'm doing the same thing in terms of teaching. So I get to do all three of those top career choices.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of your career highlights, because again, you've done a lot. You're always like doing something new, or there's something new that's going on in your career. But what are some of the career highlights?
One of my ones that really is meaningful to me was that just this year I was named what's called an ACTEC Fellow, and that's the American College of Trust and Estate Counsel. And actually there are meetings going on as we're talking, and it was 2 weeks, so I'll catch plenty of it. But that's kind of a recognition that you've really achieved the top in terms of your profession. It's very academic in nature, and it puts you in contact with those in this profession across the country in a way that we can really meet together. They work, we'll work on the uniform laws and all that. So getting named to that fellowship was one of the highlights. One of the others is I'm actually a commentator for Lineberg Services. And I always tell the story of how that happened. I went to a National Bar Association meeting, it was American Bar Association in Chicago. I went to the business meeting just because I heard they had the best food. And I sat in a corner and I picked up my food and I was thinking, I'm just going to eat and get out of here. And some guy came up to me, started talking to me and said to me, you're a great writer. You should be writing for Lineberg. I sort of laughed, which my brother said, that's silly of you. But 2 weeks later, I was writing for Lineberg Services. So that's another thing. And I continue to be a commentator. We just reported on the Heckerling proceedings. So that's been a lot of fun. But if I really talked about the highlights, it's what we're doing next, which I'm assuming you'll ask me. So I'll leave that to you.
Well, let's just go into that. What are you doing next?
Well, so I'm pretty passionate about the innovation and the technology. And I'm also passionate about aging clients and wellness. So what we're trying to do right now is say there's this kind of disconnect when people come in and they will just do their legal documents and then someday they get sick. And we really saw that during the pandemic. So we're working on a model that will try and help connect services between, here's the estate planning legal documents, and here's what people need end of life. So we, during the pandemic particularly, had a client who went into a nursing home. We have an affiliate who does senior moves. They moved him into the nursing home when he passed away. They moved his stuff back out. The family during the pandemic didn't have to get together. We divided all of their stuff into lots. And not we, this is one of the companies that we work with in a network. And they divided everything into lots. Family members were from all over the country. They got online, decided who was getting what, and then everything went for sale on an online auction. So We're trying to connect, like, here's legal documents, and make other services readily available to clients. We also have a care manager on staff right now who will help people find facilities for if they need home care or they need to move into a facility or any kind of oversight of care.
Well, and it's interesting because did this kind of develop because of the pandemic, or were you looking at it before the pandemic, or what?
I had been thinking about it for 5 or 6 years.
Sure.
But what happened is it had been an idea and we were seeing that model develop across the country. But when the pandemic hit, that's when I made the decision that it's time to not think about it, but to actually do it. Because the number of situations where even those with family members, so I have one client that we assisted has 4 children, but one daughter, her husband had, heart issues and she was caretaking for him. And all of the kids were in situations where helping out, they were all willing, but in really difficult situations,
Sure.
We could engage with the family and connect them. But the other thing is people in facilities alone at end of life. Yeah. So that's where we've also adopted a lot of video technology, and we've got electronic notaries. So we are able to help people sign documents. And what we did see during the pandemic was the interest level in estate planning was an all new level. The conversations that I had, instead of just talking about people, a lot of times would just come in and sign their trusts and wills. I've had more people since the pandemic and continuing to want to go through and understand every detail of what happens if they pass away.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I guess that's when we look at the pandemic and from a business standpoint too, having these ideas and then actually bringing them into fruition and implementing them is kind of a gift for a lot of businesses and for communities, for your clients as well, being able to now offer something new that's kind of leading edge and really a great service to the people you serve. So.
And we're really excited about doing that. And we've had the opportunity, through the pandemic. The other thing that happened is a lot of people rethought what they wanted to do with their lives and made moves. So we've been able to add some really amazing people to our mix to be able to offer those services and are on the same page.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. This conversation is flying by and we've just got a couple minutes left, but I want to talk a little bit about just briefly, because you're also a yoga instructor, or you have been. I mean, health and wellness has been a big part of your life. And talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about the health and wellness. And some that know me will say, well, like the yoga seems such a contradiction to, my personality is a little on the intense side, and people joke about me being a type AAA. Like, that's exactly why I do yoga, because there's, fairly good research that supports taking breaks during the day, doing yoga, doing meditation, engaging in a gratitude practice have positive effects on the mind and the body. But one of the things I can tell you is I've been working on personal branding most recently in connection with our firm branding. And what I was told is that wellness is really significant and I should start doing more posting. As you know, I've written a column for a long time for you on this.
Yep, I was just going to mention that, yes.
And I started posting on, things on LinkedIn, and it felt a little out of my comfort zone because on LinkedIn, it seems really okay to post about the Biden tax proposals. But posting on some of the wellness issues was just, wow, I feel like I'm putting myself out there. I will tell you that I have gotten emails and calls from people all across the country, particularly in the legal profession, about the challenges that remain and appreciation that somebody who's established would actually speak up about the importance of wellness. So that made me feel like that's a really meaningful piece of that brand and what we do. And we're really trying to implement here at our firm some things. We have great people, we want to keep them. How do we help everybody to stay well, especially post-pandemic? That was a hard time on everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mary, any final words that you want to add? Again, you do inspire so many. You inspire me, and I appreciate you writing, both your column for your business, but also your wellness column that encompasses a wide variety of topics. But final words.
I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. I was thinking when I was reviewing the possible questions about, what's really important. And to me, what's really important is relationships. And, you are one of the relationships that's been a part of my life for a really, really long time. And I think I've shared with you a couple times that one of my recollections is when I first opened my own law firm, you came over and had conversations with me. We became close friends, spent time together, and our relationship has withstood the test of time and many different things we've been through.
Yeah.
And I said, that's just really important to me, and I really value you. And that's what I appreciate out of the particular job that I have more than anything, is the amazing relationships I've developed.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much for joining me. We need to do this more often. I love interviewing you and kind of sharing your energy out into the world with others. So, Mary, thank you again.
Thanks, Sandy. I always enjoy talking to you.
Thank you for joining me today. You can read about both of these amazing women at spiritofomaha.com on our digital edition. And I look forward to seeing you back here in a couple weeks as I interview more amazing women. So we'll see you then. Take care and be safe.